Hey everybody, it's Daniel here from Inforvest. Hope you're all doing well. So let's do a market update video. It's Tuesday, July 8th, and we're coming from the July 4th weekend, where Friday the markets were closed. We did get non-farm payrolls, which is a big jobs number in the US that came out better than expected. In my last video, kind of discussed about the reaction in the markets on that data point, and mentioned that we would relook at all of this again, especially when we get more positioning data and information, as well as more information from Trump on tariffs. And we've already got the big beautiful bill as well, and all the implications of all that on the markets. So let's start off by talking about things that are moving the market, especially since yesterday, and that's basically the new tariffs that came out from Trump, right? So basically, we heard Trump come out, and the date was we were going to see the tariffs for many countries basically be implemented July 9th, but that's been changed, right? It's been pushed to August 1st. So you would think, that's good news because you're pushing the tariffs, and you got the taco trade in play. For those who don't know, taco is a term that is now being used and has been used and from Wall Street, which stands for Trump always chickens out, right? So if you saw in the beginning of the year, right, we had Trump come out firing from all cylinders, basically saying, I'm going to put tariffs on every single country and start fighting with China and upping the tariffs to more than 100%. And we got this massive sell-off in the stock market, in equities, since the beginning of the year. And we basically retraced the whole move now, right? And we're sitting at all-time highs, near all-time highs. We made all-time highs, and we're just pulling back a little bit today. So now we're hearing that, okay, Trump is pushing those renewed tariffs to August 1st. And these are the following countries. Let me just mute that. That is annoying. Okay. So these are the new numbers here, right? And the countries. So this is what's expected on August 1st, right? Japan being hit by 25% tariffs. This is just an increase from 24%, which was set on April 2nd. And now that we're seeing 25%, South Korea 25% stays the same. South Africa 30%, right? And a bunch of other countries here that you see that expected to get hit by tariffs if there's no deal by August 1st. So if you see here, this is a nice kind of picture that basically shows you that, okay, this was the April 2nd tariffs, which were in blue, right? On all these countries, and now the red one are the July 7th announced tariffs that are going to be implemented in August 1st, right? And you can see a lot of them have seen a decrease, right, in the number, 48% to 40, right, 44% to 40, 49% to 36. All these new renewed tariffs are lower, aside from Japan, Malaysia, that's seen just a 1% increase, right? South Africa stays the same. What does this all mean? How do you take it? I mean, you're pushing tariffs to August 1st. The stock market kind of reacted to those news, and that's what we're seeing right now, right? Some selling pressure here since Monday, selling pressure. Market's a little bit just range bound. We got a little bit selling in the morning. We're seeing a pick up right now as I'm speaking. So how do you take this information, right? Do you take it in a positive way, negative way? Well, he pushed it to August 1st. So what's there to cry about, right? We know how Trump is. It's the follow the taco trade, right? Trump always chickens out. Look, he's lowering the tariffs. Does Trump really want to ruin the economy? No, right? What have we been seeing since, the beginning of his term? Is we see he comes out pretty hard, and talking, you know, strongly about what he's going to do, and then he backs off, right? Trump always chickens out. And we've been seeing that. And that's why we got this massive reversal, right? Because we heard that Trump was basically putting a pause on tariffs, and that just basically ignited the equity markets to just go up further, right? So that's what we're seeing. And so this news, is this something to be worried about? I don't think so, right? You got lower numbers, first of all, sending you a signal. You've got him pushing August 1st. And guess what? August 1st comes, then what? He's going to push it again and push the deadline again, right? He was fighting with Canada as well, right? Canada said they're going to put the tax on the U.S. tech companies. And then Trump came out and said, we're going to retaliate. And then all of a sudden, I guess Canada backed off, and there you go. Done deal, right? Nobody wants to get in a hot mess here. And especially Trump, right? Especially knowing him and where his incentives are lying. You can just see, you can just tell. This is not political or anything like that. I'm not advocating for any side of politics here. I'm just telling you, this is the reality. This is the action. This is what we're seeing, and this is what you're getting, and this is how he is handling the situation, right? So now we also saw on July 4th the big beautiful bill. If you looked into that, right, I discussed a little bit about that as well. It was nothing but just tax cuts for the rich, taking money from the poor, and giving it to the rich, and spending trillions of dollars, right? And I found this kind of meme little funny here. Again, I'm not picking sides or anything, but it's the truth. You know, you have got Trump sitting here on this chair. You've got this fire in this big hole, and then you've got Trump supporters here saying this is your sacrifice so millionaires can get a big tax break and will not be forgotten, right? So that's the truth, right? You see, they're cutting Snap about $300 billion, right? That's the food incentives and for the poor. That Section 8, and especially in housing, is also being cut. The funding going towards the states to help the poor when it comes to housing, that's also being cut, right? The Medicare, the Medicaid is also being cut as well, about $1 trillion and who's going to be affected? The poor, right? He did discuss about taxes on the tips, and if you really look at it, it's only for a very small segment, for people who don't really make much in terms of their income. And really, the tax breaks are going to the rich, and really the spending of the money is going towards the rich so they can get more money and buy more stocks, is basically what we're seeing here. So what does that tell you, right? What does that tell you when it comes to the markets? Again, politics aside, this is not political. You have to understand what's happening on the fiscal side of things. And what's happening on the fiscal side of things is he's giving the rich tax breaks. He is ready to spend trillions of dollars and allocate that money towards the rich and spending, and all that money is flocking into where? Equities, into risk assets. More money for the rich. If they've got more money, what are they going to do with it? They're going to put it into assets that grow, like the stock market, right? So that's why we continue to see the equities move up. Yes, we might see a pullback or whatnot a little bit here. I think it's due. Could we come back, maybe test the highs of Jan, February here? Maybe, possible. Let's see. Anything's game. right? But I think any pullback will be short-lived, and we will continue this bull run. And if you look at equities as a whole, right, it's following this channel quite well, right? And maybe we get a pullback, and then we go back and retest the top of this trend line, which maybe takes us to 6,800, maybe 7,000, right? But the trend continues to be on the bullish side, especially with what you're getting from the fiscal side of things. The same goes for other markets as well, which we talk about in our private Discord chat room. If you're interested in that, you can subscribe to that and get more details about other markets. We cover commodities, currencies, crypto, and bonds as well. But same thing with the crypto markets, being pro-crypto, right? The Genius Act, the stable coins, the companies that are being approved, right? Coinbase, Robinhood, Circle, all getting into this. I think it was BlackRock who is massively invested in these companies as well, right? All pushing towards the crypto markets. Trump's sons, right? Running crypto empire, investing lots into crypto, starting mining companies. Trump wants to make sure that crypto mining happens in the US. Again, all things you need to see what's happening from the government, what's happening from the fiscal side of things, and understand how this will impact the markets. So in terms of positioning, we did get the COT report, and we did see that we're starting to see large players, and like I said previously, that there's a lot of money on the sidelines, but we're starting to see large players start to come in, starting to purchase. S&P 500 is one of them. NASDAQ also is starting to get pretty up there. I think out of all the equity indices, NASDAQ seems to be, I wouldn't say overbought, but it is close to it. And so that is, I wouldn't say a red flag, but it's something to be cautious about, right? Caution. So I would say yellow. We went from green to yellow, like caution. Let's be careful here, right? So NASDAQ's a little bit, has been seeing some buying action and a lot of buyers. S&P 500 is not there yet, but you do see that increase. Dow Jones also starting to get there too. The only one is the Russell 2000, right? That has yet to see massive buyers. Does that mean you should buy Russell 2000 and short NASDAQ? Not necessarily, right? You could argue it, but you could say from a positioning standpoint that, Russell 2000 has room to move up higher. Just because it's been underperforming. Would I do it personally? No. Unless there's something that really, really interests me from a technical point of view, then sure. But right now, this is where the positioning stands for equities. For crypto, Bitcoin, it's slightly getting some buyers in, but not there yet. Let's just go over it. Usually I don't go over crypto. I usually leave it for my private chat room, but let's just talk about it here. And Bitcoin's been more ranging around this level here. But I think soon or later we could see a catalyst for Bitcoin to move up higher, and as large speculators get more bullish. Ethereum has changed drastically. There's been a lot of large buying, especially from BlackRock in Ethereum. So that I'm a little bit cautious about because the positioning has changed, and the price action, we did see some massive price action here, but it's been ranging and holding. But let's see what happens as the weeks progress, and how the markets and the stock markets react, right? Because crypto is a risk asset, and it tends to correlate with the equity markets. So if we see some sort of pullback or scare or fear, then sure, we could see crypto do the same. So that's all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below, subscribe, hit the like button, bell icon to be notified next video, and I'll see you guys around. Cheers, bye.